I welcome you back to the second episode on the crusade to save the souls of our children. In our first episode, you heard about the problems all of us Christians are having of getting our kids back in the pews. They're not coming to church. But I also want to share in this video how so much has happened based on the fact that people were inspired by that first video. And I also want to share that a special man, after seeing that video, has volunteered to be one of the leaders in our crusade. So again, I want you to listen carefully and try to decide how you can share your time, your talent, and your money. We Christians have been such a positive force in this world of love and peace and mercy. Please listen carefully and be part of this great crusade. As I come to you today to welcome you back to part 2 of our video, The Crusade to Save Our Children's Souls. I can't tell you how excited I am. A few things have happened. Number 1, applications have flown in. Our kids are going to be here, and I have to thank you for that. But let's not slow down. Let's keep sending those names in. Now, since our last broadcast, I received some other great news. After watching our first video, Dr. Henry Lesworth, the man who wrote the introduction to my book, The Secret Gospel of the Rich and Powerful, was so inspired by our crusade, he has volunteered to be one of the leaders of this cause. Isn't that amazing? If you remember, when I originally wrote the book, I was considered very liberal, and I worried that presenting the Jesus that I found in the Gospel of Saint Avarice might anger some people, if not many people. But it was Dr. Lesworth who convinced me otherwise. He said he was shocked when he listened to this video to see how far I had come from the darkness of liberalism. Now, if you're not familiar with Dr. Lesworth, let me remind you of why I am so excited to have him on board for this project, to save the souls of our youth. Dr. Lesworth is a key promoter of for-profit universities. He has been a major lobbyist for making online universities tax-exempt and not liable for any past online university frauds. Now you can imagine that he is well aware of adversity, as many in government have tried to make these universities pay back for what they called fraud. But to the eyes of people like Dr. Lesworth, it was just outstanding multi-level marketing. Dr. Lesworth was a key player in one of the greatest pyramid, he hates that word, greatest multi-level marketing schemes in history. He's the author of some great books, like The Vision and Inspiration of Charles Ponzi, The Art of Persuasion, Make Them Think You Care, Building Wealth Through Bankruptcy, A Method to Your Badness. He's presently working on a book entitled Capitalism for Christians, Damnation to All Socialists. Now, I've read the first chapter. Yes, Jesus was a capitalist. Unbelievably insightful and entertaining. And his writing this book at this time was brought him to our crusade. He said that in researching his book, he read that in one of the European countries, because health insurance and wage protection are part of their government's law, it has helped them get through the pandemic. He says, in this pamphlet explaining their programs, there's a motto The healthy help pay for the sick, the rich for the poor, and singles for families. We will all get through this together. Now, he was struck by the totally un-American tone of that and felt it reeked of Marxism and socialism. It eviscerated individualism. How can you take care of the individual and small businesses if you don't take care of big business first? Thank God our country is so much more advanced. In any case, he was inspired by the Jesus in the Gospel of Saint Avarice and was excited to share his insight with young people before it was too late in their life. He agreed that core courses in our program should include what Jesus in the Gospel of Saint Avarice says about putting yourself first, that there's a separate set of rules for the rich and powerful, when a lie is really the truth, if it's good for you, that forgiveness is a weakness. They need to learn the art of mocking. They need to help others turn guilt into shame. The importance of wearing a crucifix around your neck, especially if you are intentionally not telling the truth or spewing some kind of hate. Those are great topics, and only a few of them. If you have any doubts about Dr. Lessworth being one of the leaders of our crusade, listen to this. Just recently, Dr. Lessworth spoke to a large group in Wisconsin, at which he encouraged everyone to join hands as one and not wear masks so they could all enjoy each other's faces again, their friends and strangers. His speech was based on an article he wrote, "The Mask of Death. Some will have to die for many to live." Now, I heard that speech in Wisconsin, and I got goosebumps when at the end of the speech, Dr. Lessworth raised his arm holding a torn mesh mask and shouted these words in support of immediate herd immunity. "I only regret that I have but one life to take for my country." Nathan Hale, I am sure, sat up tall in his grave when he heard those words of courage and bravery. And I have to admit, even though I'm considered compromised due to my age and heart, and never been a huge fan of herd immunity, I was inspired listening to that. I hope you can see why I'm so excited about bringing Dr. Lessworth on our team. There is nothing more important during these precarious times than to bring the word of our Lord, the authentic Lord, as presented in the Gospel of Saint Avarice, to our youth. Thank you, Dr. Lessworth. Until the next time, God bless you all.